On this episode, I'm joined by two undeniable forces in business and creativity, Gina Kirschenheiter and Travis Mullen.
I've worked very hard the past 8 years, but it's the fact that we're also really doing the work and doing the job as agents. And the combination of the two things, I think, is why we're finding ourselves success.
Gina redefined reality TV success beyond the screen, building brands, forging businesses, and telling powerful stories in a way few can. Travis turned ideas into impact, from creative vision to execution, inspiring others to lead with authenticity and purpose.
Why they should use you as their agent, you have to tell them who you are, not just your wins, not just the amount of houses you've sold. That's how you build connection. And then connection is what is going to get you clients.
What learnings or advice would you have for partners who are building as entrepreneurs?
I would say stay in your lane. You have to treat your discussions like your true business partners. And so we have to talk to each other and communicate with each other as if we're not partners.
This is Gina Kirschenheiter and Travis Mullen.
Today on the show, I'm sitting down with two dynamic individuals who are no strangers to reinvention. Gina Kirschenheiter, known to many from Bravo's Real Housewives of Orange County, and her partner, Travis Mullen. Together, they've taken a bold leap from reality TV spotlight into the real estate arena, and they're doing it with purpose, vision, and a whole lot of heart. We're going to dig into what it takes to balance a high-profile personal brand with building a thriving real estate business, why they chose to align with EXP Realty, and how launching their team, the Gated Group, is opening new doors to their future. Get ready for a real, raw, and inspiring conversation about identity, ambition, and building something meaningful together. Gina and Travis, thank you guys so much for being here. I've been so excited about this conversation. It is so cool to talk to you both.
Well, it's very cool to talk to you too, Wendy.
Yeah, we're excited.
We were just chatting before we hit the record button, and you sent all 6 kids off to school today.
Yeah.
We did. Mission accomplished. Yes.
Fourth grade, fifth grade, 2 6th graders, 7th and 8th. So.
Yeah. This is what I love, though, because it's like I hear Leo talk a lot about work-life balance. And so this is what it feels like. It's like, okay, we're up at 5 a.m., packing lunches, taking their fit photos, all that, and helping them with curling hair. And then, I would have loved to have looked a little better for this myself, but work-life balance.
Work-life balance, yes. Let's start there because, Gina and Travis, a lot of the world know you from that public persona that you have from being on reality TV. And we've come to know and love you here at EXP from being the team leaders of the Gated Group. So let's start with that transition of sort of that celebrity brand into your real estate business. So tell us a little bit about that transition.
The reality is that I have been a part of the Real Housewives of Orange County for the past 8 years. It's been in my life, and I knew the whole time that that's not forever. And really the opportunity is having this platform and having this ability to then use that platform to create something else for us, and to use it as a vehicle to really serve us. And I think that it's so interesting that I chose real estate because I never saw that. I really didn't see that coming. It was really more Travis, pushing me, encouraging me to do it. And I'm just so thankful that I did. I think that one of the cool things about this season and the show, and just like everything happening, even Wendy having EXP and having EXP lean into me too, it's because we're really doing this job, And so I think it's the combination. Yes, of course, having the platform and having the visibility is awesome for us, but I've worked very hard the past 8 years to be able to use that now in this arena. But it's the fact that we're also really doing the work and doing the job as agents. And the combination of the two things, I think, is why we're finding ourselves success.
Yeah. And I think one of the important things is because of the TV show and everything, you have to do the job to make yourself approachable because, some people are like, oh, I don't want to bother them with my condo, where we're like, let's sell that condo, let's,
Yeah.
we want to help, and we do enjoy helping the people like accomplish whatever their goals are. But, that's what we have to work. So like, it's kind of funny because everybody has to market differently based on, what they need to accomplish. And for us, it's kind of more just like, hey, we work with everybody and we love it, we enjoy it, and we're doing it so that people do think of us, when they're thinking about selling or buying their house.
Has that been a difficult transition, though, that people have a certain perception of you both, but particularly of Gina, because you're in the spotlight through the show, that like, does that make you more or less approachable for some people when it comes to your real estate business?
Yeah, I think in some ways it does kind of, people would be surprised to hear this, but it does kind of work against us in some ways, right? Because it's like either you know me from the show, but then you're like a little bit like maybe starstruck or something, even though you shouldn't be, because I'm such a regular person, but I understand that, and so that then people might hesitate or think like, oh, she doesn't, we've had clients who were like, I was going to reach out to you. My husband was like, they're never going to respond back to you. They're too busy with like, other high celebrity clientele or whatever. And I'm so thankful that she decided to do it anyway, because we responded in a heartbeat. Or people don't know who I am and they don't really know the show, but they know of the show. And the show itself comes with its own connotation. And they don't understand that I'm not really like the mold I'm not the typical housewife, And so in some ways we have to work harder, but that's okay because everybody has, their hand they've been dealt. And I do think that it's still an advantage more than it is a disadvantage. So we just have to do all of the same things that everybody else has to do to combat that. Like, be present in our community. We hold events. We're at the farmers market. We're doing networking events. We're out there like with our community to show them that we're a part of the community.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think the thing that's interesting about it is like, the platform maybe does make people feel like we're less approachable or anything. But what I can tell you it 100% does help is once we do have a deal, like we just flat out get more eyeballs on any house that we're selling, right? And any house that we go in to buy, we have just something a little bit different than if a seller's looking and everything's the same, the dollars are the same, the timeline's the same. But hey, that realtor or that seller gets to say, hey, I worked with Gina and Travis, then that gives, our clients an advantage. So it's really like this balancing act that we're still working through, I think, where like it 100% serves our clients very well, but it's how do you get someone that doesn't already know us to understand that like we want to help them. And I think that's what we're working through.
Yeah, it is amazing because we are the most powerful marketing team and definitely in our market. Like we can outmarket any of the other agents. And so that's where the advantage is. So once we can get our clients in, they see that it serves them so well. Our houses, they just, like he said, it goes out to so many more eyes. And that's the name of the game here is to market that property to the best you can. So that, and then all the local agents follow me. So they're looking too. They see all my properties. They bring me their buyers. Our houses go into escrow usually in a week or less. And it just is what it is. So that, amazing. But that has been very powerful for us. That's why I encourage when I do, speak for EXP and stuff, I encourage every agent to understand that celebrity is relative and all you're looking to do is to be the celebrity of your market, of your farm, of your community. And it is an achievable goal for every agent. If you can become the celebrity of your own community, and that's such a huge advantage. So I try to encourage other agents to see that side of it. Like it's achievable.
Yeah, that's great. That is such a great like sound bite and takeaway, like be the celebrity of your own market. And I remember when you were first joining us last fall, we had a conversation about the existing social platform that you had and whether you were both questioning, do I create a separate social platform and start to market or market within your social platform that you had? And we collectively said, like, go all in on the social platform you have, which you've done. And you just shared how like beautifully that has worked out. Yeah. A lot of agents have that question. Should I have a personal and then a professional? And you are such the perfect example of like, we are one brand in today's world. There isn't this neat and tidy division between personal life and professional life. Like, it is just life.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, the social media platforms, that is the vehicle to express to all of the people who are, the buyers. You're expressing to them why they should use you as their agent. And in order to get people to know, like, and trust you, you have to tell them who you are, not just your wins, not just the amount of houses you've sold. They want to know who you are and all aspects of that. And then that's how you build relationship. That's how you build connection. And then connection is what is going to get you clients. That's what's going to bring in, these people into your sphere, and they're going to know you and they're going to trust you. And then they're going to want to use you as their agent. So you don't want it to be sterile. You don't want it to be, I see a lot of like, all just TikTok or all just very professional, sterile. And I feel like you really need to live somewhere in between.
Yes, I agree with that for sure. So tell me a little bit about the gated group. What inspired the name of the team? And tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind that.
Well, the name was all Gina.
I like the names. They're very hard. Names are
very hard. Yes.
I wanted to be very mindful. I was very aware and very clear, both of us were, that we did not want to brand this team in our own names because we're truly trying to build a team. And I just think I understand that agents become agents and then they work up their production side of their business. They're very successful and then they expand and they become a team. I think we are afforded the luxury of being able to start a team a little bit earlier on and use my celebrity then to support that. So I didn't feel like I wanted it to be in my name, because then I didn't feel like I didn't want any agents that were then coming on to feel like they were just helping to brand my name more. I want everybody to truly feel like they're a part of something that's bigger than all of us. And I was literally just passing by a really beautiful gate. We were driving and I was passing by a gate. I think it might have been a cemetery actually, but it was very beautiful.
It wasn't an Orange County private community gate, huh?
No, it was not. We were on the East Coast. We were visiting my parents. And so it was there. And I was like, gate. And then it was just like gated. And then I just started to think about the symbolism about that. And, we have been doing real estate for less than a year. We're very passionate about it. And one of the things that I found the most that I loved about the job doing it was like, you really are helping people. It's a very scary time for people to go through the home buying process. And you're that thing that makes them feel safe and secure throughout the whole process. And so when I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, we want them to feel gated. We want them to feel like we're the gate around them to keep them safe and secure throughout this entire process and this entire journey. And if we do that, we've done our job. And so the gated group was born out of that.
Yeah. And I think something funny about that is like Gina's made a comment to me that, she had bought multiple homes before becoming a realtor, probably at least 3.
Yeah.
Maybe even more, bought and sold. And then, as she's becoming a realtor, she's like, wow, I didn't know all this stuff really goes on, right?
Yeah.
So it's our job as realtors to, kind of help these people through this process. And I think, our number one goal as realtors should be to help protect our clients throughout the entire process, right? And that's everything from not just contracts, but like protect them from making sure they're buying in the right area, for their family and not just pushing them to something or kind of if they say something, maybe challenge it, but in an appropriate way to make sure that they're thinking about things that they're potentially not, because we do this all the time, right? And that's where the professionalism of the realtor comes in. And so I think that the symbolism is great because that is our job is, to protect them in their decision making, protect them in the negotiations, protect them in the contracts, And so when she said it to me, I did say it's up to you, dear, but I liked it. And, I liked the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So I think it really worked out, and then she's done a great job with the branding because I like all the swag and stuff. So I like to wear
tell
it.
by the shirts. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm going to send you some one day.
Awesome. That's good.
But I think something else that's really cool about like our decision making and why it was not named after one of us or both of us, I think it also shows why we ended up at EXP, because I feel like there's a big alignment there, right? Like where
Yeah.
we want to empower our team members first, right?
Yes.
We don't want to empower Kirschenheiter or Mullen or whatever. We want to empower the team members. And I feel that EXP as a brokerage is the same way. There's so many brokerages that want to lead with their name because they think they're prestigious or they think they're that, or, you know, and people are like, well, they're luxury. And it's like, no, I'm luxury, right? I'm the one representing you. I'm the one representing your house through this process. And so that's something that I think is like a very good alignment between us and EXP.
Yeah, like with the support EXP. And that has been very significant for us, for sure. And I think we talk about this a lot because it's the truth. Like I enjoyed real estate. I enjoyed the people. Enjoyed what we were doing, but I really didn't see the bigger picture success for us in this industry until we joined EXP. And that's just the truth.
Amazing.
Like really. Yeah. And so I feel like it does matter who you're with. It does matter support that you're given. Yeah. And the community that you join, because to me, when I was working for my previous brokerage, I honestly felt like I had joined another Housewives, and it was what I was trying to get away from. Really, you know, it was like so competitive. Nobody was really friends. It was very like backstabby because you kind of are pitted against each other. And then moving over to EXP, you know, it's like EXP at first you're like, they're talking the talk, well, they walk the walk, but they've done nothing but walk the walk since we've joined. And it truly is like a place of community and collaboration. And that's what has made a very big, you know, and it also gets you very fired up. It makes you want to.
She drinks all the cola.
Yeah, I really do.
I do too.
Yes, it's a nice place to be, and it feels good. You know,
and it's the energy, right?
Good. Yeah.
Yes. That's amazing. We love to hear that. So I always ask people on the podcast, we call the podcast your X Factor, because I believe that we all have an X Factor that makes us unique and is part of like each of our success. So I'm going to flip the table. I'm going to ask each of you, Gina, what do you think Travis's X Factor is? And Travis, what do you think Gina's X Factor is?
I mean, it's pretty easy for me, I think. For Gina, I think like it's like her ability to connect with people instantaneously. And I think it comes from like that she's a very caring, empathetic, like understanding person, that she can meet somebody and like they, you know, so many times I hear it, they're like, I feel like I've known you forever, you know, or whatever. And I also think that's brought her the success on the show because people, even though it's through a television, can relate to her and can connect to her through just her being herself. And I think that's extremely powerful. And it can be as small as like at the farmer's market, just tie in, you know, somebody's bouquet together in a knot as she's talking to them. Or it could be her, you know, on stage speaking to an entire, you know, house full of people. I think that people can always feel connected to her. And I think that's really powerful. And I think it's really strong in real estate and very applicable because it is such a relationship driven business, or it should be at least.
Yes.
And so I think that's, you know, why a lot of people are drawn to us and to her. And I'm thankful that she's my partner because of it.
That is so nice.
That's why he wanted to go first. Pressure's all on you now, Gina. He's turning red.
No, I definitely think Travis's X Factor is that he has a lot of them, honestly. And so I think that, first of all, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He really is. He's like overqualified for everything that he does. And he just has, he's seriously educated and he has such a smart mind, really. And so I think that his ability to also, his problem solving ability is top notch. And so there's never anything that we've run into that he can't figure out and that he won't figure out. And so that is incredibly helpful when you're going through this whole journey. And he's been doing, you know, he has the mortgage side of it. So overall, at the actual job, the practical part of the job, he's just top notch. But really, I think ultimately his X factor is that it's just that he cares. Like he really cares a lot. And I think that in this job, in this industry, you really have to care because being there, showing up and being present to field there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems that happen.
There's a lot of problems that happen. Yes.
Yeah. And you're either going to be the person who's like, sorry, you didn't qualify. So we're just going to move on to the next client. Or you're the person who's going to stick it out and find a solution because you care, figure it out. And then we've had clients where literally an example is our clients RMV, they had owned a home. He got diagnosed, he's a vet, and he got diagnosed with cancer, and they lost their home, medical bills, lost everything that they had worked for, taking care of him. They wanted to now rebuy in our community, and he had been working with them for like over a year to get their financials back in order to, with the mortgage broker, in order to get them to the place where they could. He found the house. He knew it was the opportunity for them because he's always thinking about them in his heart and in his head. He went to them. He was like, we got to jump on this now. We got the opportunity for them. But during the process, it wasn't looking good. And we even got to the point where there was really no way to figure it out. And he was like, no, we're not going to not have this happen for you. And we ended up taking honestly just taking a cut of our commission to just be like, okay, we're going to make this happen, And I think that it's not like that's ideal.
Yeah.
But some people in some circumstances, it's just that's what you do because that's what humans do for humans. And I think that having like his sense of humanity, I think is ultimately his biggest X factor.
You guys, that was so nice.
Is this like a love show or something?
Oh, so good. It's so good. And it's been 6 years, right?
Yes, it has. Yes.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
So we see
we still like each other.
We can tell Travis is blushing again, so we have to move on. But let's talk about real estate. Well, I have one more question kind of along this theme though, because we see a lot of partners work together in the real estate business. So what advice or what have you guys learned about like being entrepreneurs and being partners together in building a business? Because it is such a common thing that we see. And I think it's such a wonderful opportunity that the real estate industry offers. So what learnings or advice would you have for partners who are building as entrepreneurs?
I feel like it's either such a wonderful opportunity or it's the fastest way to divorce. Really, there's like no, in between there, Wendy. But I would say definitely we've learned it's not been all great. Like we've had to learn this to work together. And I would say stay in your lane. And also you have to treat your discussions like your true business partners, not like you're in a relationship. You really have to. And we did struggle with that at first, and we had to check ourselves and say, look, this isn't, this is our business and this is serious. And so we have to talk to each other and communicate with each other as if we're not life partners.
Right.
Like, we need to talk to that
partners.
We are business partners. And if you, if you make me mad because you do something with the kids and I don't like it, I'm going to approach you one way. But when it comes to our business, I have to approach you like you are my business partner. And if I wouldn't go out of bounds with my business partner, I cannot go out of bounds with you in that way. And that's really helped us. We've made that adjustment.
Yeah. I think I completely agree with all of it. It's like, stay in your lanes, which we do just personally too, right? Like even with the kids or life, like I think that's just important to any type of partnership. And then for the real estate, I think, real estate is highly emotional if you care about your clients, which is important. And so it can be tricky, but that's where you do have to take a step back and realize like, okay, this is business. How are we going to handle it, and kind of like remove that emotion out of it, both the relationship emotion and the real estate emotion out of it, right? Yes. And then really tackle it and figure out whatever it is you're having to figure out. And And so I think that was something that we had to adjust into. And
like identifying roles is really important, because there's going to be a time where, and it's all learning curve. There's going to be a time where it's like, okay, the obvious roles are obvious, but then there's always like a gray in the middle, and you get that email and you're both on it. And it's like, well, I kind of thought that was you, and you kind of thought that was me, but you can't let that ball drop. So somebody's got to say, look, this came in. Is this you or is this me? And you just have to identify it, assign it, and then move forward with that in that way.
Yes. I think that stay in your lanes advice is so great. And it is one of the things that I've seen in working with top teams and partnerships that is a key success factor is they're very clear on this is your lane and this is your roles and this is my lane and these are my roles. And when teams and partners aren't, that's when problems happen. Yeah. So I think that is great advice. So
yeah, totally.
Tell us about the future for the gated group. What do you guys envision over the future? What are the goals for the gated group?
I think we're still figuring it out. Like our immediate goal is get our website up, right?
You're doing pretty well with that darn website, huh?
It really is. It's like the bane of my existence. Yeah. It's literally almost done. We're just also we want it to be really, really good. So we're like nitpicking over like picture selection. We gotta get it going. Yeah. So we gotta get it up.
But I think, long term, I think we want to just build like a community and a team of people that are like-minded, that are, client first, caring, and, want to represent the gated group in the right ways. And that can be as small or as big as, the people that it attracts to, the right people, I guess. And we're not looking to build like some mega team and just take everybody on and do the numbers game. We really want to be impactful in a meaningful way for the clients. And so that's kind of the approach that we're taking. We have, local agents here, and then we have some agents out in Texas. And, it wasn't like we were like, hey, let's go get some agents in Texas. It just, through networking, it just kind of, happened and made sense in the time. We're big, like, if it makes sense, do it kind of people. Yes. And so, we don't really know exactly what it looks like, but we know that it's going to have certain principles to it. And, being very client driven is at the top of that list. So.
Yeah. And I also would say that, like, for me within the EXP world, especially now with co-sponsorship coming, like co-sponsorship is here now.
Yes.
The thing that like I just want to communicate to all of our EXP community is EXP has such phenomenal tools, right? That you can go to, you can lean on to try to, with agent attraction and all of that. And like, I just want the agents, the EXP agents to understand that I am a tool in their tool belt as well. And, to kind of lean on me or utilize me if that helps or serves them in any way, like, I'm happy to be there for them, So I would like to start to build that as well, because there is a lot of potential there. I just think sometimes people aren't like necessarily thinking in that way. And that's why it has been so nice to be at the Build events, because I've been able to like kind of make that contact and talk to people and get out there and let them understand, like, I really just enjoy serving and being there for anybody in any way that I can be. So if I can, if you can use me in any way and it helps you, I'm happy to do that.
Yes. Yes. And we're going to see you at EXP Con in Miami.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We're excited about that.
Yes.
That's great. Well, thank you both for joining me today. And thank you for pouring into our EXP community. And we'll look forward to watching you continue to grow and keeping up to date on everything that the gated group is doing. And Gina, I know we're in the middle of the season right now of Housewives. So we'll continue to keep tabs on everything that's happening in Orange County.
Okay, sounds good. It's a bit spicy there. Yes.
It's a bit spicy. It sure is. Thank you, guys.
It's always great seeing you, Wendy.
Thanks,
you
Wendy.
You too. Thanks, Travis.
Bye-bye.